Whiskey 9, Kilo, Charlie Whiskey.
Kilo Charlie Whiskey. Roger, what's the name?
Name here's Tony, Tango, Oscar, November Yankee.
Roger, Tony, and where are you, sir?
Yes, just wanting to check the audio on this. I've got a Yaesu FTDX-101 with the MD100, and just trying to get the audio set up to itself.
Oh, yes, sir. You are pretty low, so let's go through the setup. Starts with your engaging your compressor at a 3. 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100, a third of the compressor capabilities. Roger.
Okay, compressor is on now. I have the processor on.
Alrighty, and it's at a 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. Roger.
And what do you mean 33 out of 10 here?
Okay, the input level to the compressor. Do you have a knob or something where you can tell how much the input level to the compressor is, Roger?
Yeah, let me check here.
In other words, it would probably say, when you got it on, it would probably say compressor 3 or compressor 6 or whatever that means, the input level to the compressor. We want to put it on a 3. Roger? Okay, so that's a Roger. Your compressor's engaged and at a 3. Is that a Roger? Okay, let's move to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand. And as you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is reading mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC meter by way of mic gain manipulation.
Okay, 1, 2, and 3.
And Tony, you have to speak fairly rapidly in order to be able to read that meter. In other words, if you go 1, 2, 3, the meter never has a chance to come up and accurately display what it's reading. So as you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, adjust your mic gain until the ALC is reading mid-scale to 2/3.
Okay, 100, 200, 300, 100, 200, 300, 400.
Yeah, so you started there probably at about minus 15, so your level is coming up quite a bit. Continue on. I don't think you've quite reached your 3 dB dynamic range, which happens at when you're mid-scale to 2/3. So come on and adjust a little bit more on your mic gain and look at your ALC meter from mid-scale to 2/3.
Okay, here we go. Audio test 100, 200, 300. See where I'm at here.
Right, you might be catching some background modulation there that's not helping you.
Okay, how's that right there?
All right.
Alrighty, why don't you tell me in 10 seconds, tell me about your antenna system and let me look at your audio.
Okay, yep, the antenna system here is a double bazooka. We have a double bazooka up about 40 feet in the air, feeding it with some LMR 400. And running the Yaesu FTDX-101 with the MD100 microphone, and that is the current setup at this time.
Roger, Tony, I'm catching a little bit of sounds like you might be getting some RF in your audio. Sounds like you might be getting some RF in your audio. What kind of power are you running at the moment?
Right now at the moment we're running about 5 to 600 watts.
Yes, sir. I would move the mic downriver from the power amp. Try to get as far away from the power amp as you can, and let me hear you, Roger.
Okay. Okay. Did that help? How's that right there?
Still have RF in your audio. I would suggest, how close is your power amp to your radio?
The amp is about 3 feet, about 3 to 4 feet from the radio.
Alrighty. How much SWR are you running on that antenna? Before you do your antenna tuner.
About a 2 to 1.
Yeah, sounds like you might have some RF straying around in your Radio Shack. Thing would be, what kind of grounding system do you have?
Yeah, I have a short ground going out braided. It is a copper flat cable coming off the back of everything in the shack here, going out about 4 feet to a steel pole right outside the window here that is in the ground.
Roger. Are you on the ground floor? Are you second floor or what?
Yes, I'm on the ground floor. I had a big problem the other day. I had some cable that was ran next to the ground, and I was getting a lot of problems there. And that ground wire was flat cable was picking up RF off the cable itself. So I'm trying to get this shack set up, and someone earlier told me they thought I had some RF in here. So I'm trying to figure out where it's at, or if I need to do some regrounding.
Yeah, I would reground myself. Now, what I do, I use old RG8 for my ground leads. RG8, and it's round, normal state, looks like about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch pipe, because the RF is flowing on the outside of the shield. So I just use RG8 and run it for the ground. And in your case, I think I would run 2 grounds. I would run one ground specifically for the power amp, and I would run a second ground for everything else, and I would keep them separate. Roger?
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm going to do that. I'm going to work on that because I've got to get that RF out of there before I can move any further. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and I'll get in there and work on that so I can get this RF out of here, and then we can move forward from there. Thank you very much. We'll start on that this afternoon from W9KCW.
Yes, sir. Now, in the meantime and in between time, if you happen to have a hand mic around, I think you could probably be in the clear on a hand mic if you happen to have one.
Yeah, let me go grab that because I had the hand mic on here before I just put this MD100. So let me grab that. I'll be right back with you.
Yes, sir. I think you will be clean with the hand mic because usually, it's you're getting RF into the most vulnerable point, which is the microphone, because the microphone is 50 dB down and has to be amplified up. A hand mic is going to be a little warmer, a little hotter output than a desk mic, and so there's less opportunity to pick up stray RF. So we'll just see where that goes. RF can be particularly difficult to track down. I had some problems. RF always is a problem. When you run power, you have to control it. And the first thing is you have to be able to see where it is. And I said, my God, if I could just see where the RF was, I could figure out how to get rid of it. And lo and behold, has something come along. It's called a field strength meter. Used to be in old CV days, you can use one of those, has a little telescopic antenna. This dude is just perfect for finding random RF lobes, and you can just use it to sniff around your place and find out exactly where that RF is, and then when you got rid of it, because it will cease to register on the meter.
Okay, real good. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm seeing a lot of. I'm running a scope here on my audio. on the here at the shack, and I can see on the scope it looks a lot better with this hand mic.
Well, it may, but it doesn't sound that much better. Now, I'll tell you what, why don't you, just as an experiment, collapse that microphone coil as close as you can to the radio, and just let me hear it with the coil not extended.
Okay, there we are right there.
That's a little bit better. So that tells me that the RF is moving on the mic input circuit there. Again, all right, then try moving as far away with that hand mic as you can from the power amp and stretch that coil out. Maybe you can get 5-6 feet away from the power amp and let me hear you.
Okay, yep, now we're quite a bit further away from the power amp, probably 5 or 6 feet away from it.
Yeah, same thing. So, like I say, I think maybe 2 ground systems, 1 ground system just for the power amp and the well, do you run a separate antenna tuner, or do you use the internal radio antenna tuner?
Run a separate tuner.
All right, so I would put the power amp and the antenna tuner and the antenna selector, if you have a switch box with multiple antennas, I would put all those on one ground and then everything else on the other ground. I'm assuming that you're not running a outboard audio preamp or anything, Roger?
Roger, no, just running the FTDX-101 AL80B amplifier, and I do have the Meritron ATR30 3K tuner, and I do have the DVI display on a monitor up above in front of me.
Yeah, Roger. Now, okay, on the antenna lead, does the antenna lead cross back into behind your radio, or does it move to a right angle away from your radio?
It moves to the right, away from my radio. It is actually going from the radio over to the right to the amplifier, from the amplifier back to the left in the center to the tuner, and then from the tuner it outboards and goes straight down through the basement outdoors.
Okay, I would put that antenna tuner to the right of your power amp. Trying to move stuff as far as you can away from your radio. So, if it's just a matter of, if your jumper's long enough just to move your antenna tuner to the right of your power amp away from your radio. Roger?
Okay. We'll start with that. We'll definitely give that a try. And you got a wonderful audio, great signal here in southwest Indiana. Name is Tony, Tango Oscar, November Yankee. And your audio signal is great here in Indiana. But we'll start with that, some regrounding, and see if we can get this eliminated.
Yes, sir. Now, the thing is, what you want to do is you want to use, what I use is what's called split bolts. Split bolts are big bolts with a bolt with a split in it and a nut, and you put your wires in between where the split is on the nut and on the bolt, and then you tighten the nut up. So on your power amp side, you would have a lead from your power amp, you would have a lead from your antenna tuner, and you would have an antenna lead or ground lead from your switch box if you have one of those. Bring both of those or 3 of those into your ground lead and use a split bolt, tie all those together at once. There's no other way that you can actually get an absolute center point for your ground, multiple grounds, than with a split bolt. Some folks say, use that long copper tube pipe in back of your radio. But what happens is you're spreading those grounds out, and there are wavelengths involved there. So when you use a split bolt, all of those grounds come together at one central point. That's what you want. And for your radios, on your radio side, whatever it might be, bring all those ground leads together in one point and put that split bolt connection to your ground transmission line. Roger?
Roger. Okay, we'll do that. I do have several of those split bolts that fit through this flat braided ground flat cable that I have. and I'll get all those taken care of and split up and see where we can get at with it.
Yes, sir. And I'm thinking maybe that the RG8 might even do a better job than the flat shield. You might try that. If it's all the same and you have some extra old RG8, use it for ground transmission line. Roger.
Yes, Roger. Yep. We sure do. I have enough of it to use, and I'm going to keep it short and put a separate ground rod out there, and get it all tied into that separate ground rod, and maybe that steel pipe, and see if we can eliminate it.
Yes, sir. And make sure that your two grounds are like at least 6 feet apart. Otherwise, they're going to really couple together. And you don't want that. So make sure your grounds are at least 6 foot apart. And like I say, one ground for your amp and your antenna tuner and whatever else you have on the high power side, and then another ground for your radio and whatever else you might have on the radio side. So with that, Tony, whereabouts are you in Indiana?
We are just a little bit east of Evansville, Indiana. So we're in a very southwestern corner of the state, Qso.
Roger, we're down around Louisville. I'm on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. So let me say 73 Tony, and gosh, I'll let you get to work on that, and if you get a chance, give me a shout back next Friday between 3:30 and 5, and we'll see how you're doing, Roger.
Okay, we sure will. We'll get in here, and appreciate the help very much. And 73s, have a good weekend from Whiskey 9 Kilo Charlie Whiskey.
Roger, Tony 73, sir, and if you want to hear your audio, as painful as it may be, you might want to hear it. If you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 of 2,000 some odd Qso-Vlog recordings. So 73 Tony, we'll catch you later. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.